This is Matt in the Man Cave, late night after dark. I have had the best day ever. And you're like, Matt, what did you do? Look at. What I did is I just got in the car with my family and we drove about an hour away. And here's the thing, we went shopping. And I got these pies. You know, we're coming up on, look at this pie. Look at this. That is a huge, okay, apple pie. That's my wife's favorite. And here's the thing, guys, I don't know about you. You either fall into one camp or both camps, okay, come Thanksgiving. You want apple pie or you want pumpkin pie. I'm a pumpkin pie. I can't say that. I'm a pumpkin pie kind of guy. Say that 10 times. I'm a pumpkin pie kind of guy. I'm a pumpkin. But look at. Prior to leaving with the family, because when we got down there, we had lunch, okay, we got the pies, we had to run some errands, we had to do some different things in the town. I live in a very small town right now, okay, and so we just had fun as a family. But watch this very carefully. Prior to leaving, there were some things that were pulling at me that I felt like I needed to accomplish, that I needed to get done here at the house, outside of the house, and guys, I had to what? Prioritize, okay? What matters most? Listen very carefully, okay? What matters most? Oftentimes, there are things in our life that really do need to get done, but there's something greater that needs to get done. And you're like, what was that? Well, it was spending time with the family, spending time with God. Our verse is going to be in Ephesians, okay? Chapter 5, verse 15. And we're going to be looking at just two verses, 15 through 17. It says this, look very carefully then how you walk. And in our translation, it's alluding to making the decisions on a daily basis. It goes on to say, not as unwise, but as wise. Meaning this, before I left to go to that bigger town, okay, with my family, what if I just decided, well, you know what, I could accomplish everything today, all the things that have to be accomplished, which really didn't have to be accomplished, okay, like fixing a window, fixing a door, painting this, moving this, cleaning this, you know what I'm saying, paying this bill, and doing all those things, but that wouldn't have been wise. I wouldn't have been a wise steward with my time because the greater need was to spend time with my family. Yes, those things need to be done. Men. I'm not saying that those things, that they don't need to be done. They do, okay? But there's a better time to do them, okay? That time was designated. It was blocked off to be with that which means the most to me on earth, my family and my God, okay? So it goes on, okay? Not as unwise, but as wise, making the best use of the time. Because the days are evil, okay? Therefore, do not be foolish, but understand what is taking place in the end days. Guys, I want to teach you something, okay? And if you will get a hold of this, it's going to help you. It is so going to help your relationship, okay? And it's going to help your life. And it's going to give you so much more peace that God has given you. But you're not claiming it. You're not accepting it. You're not living in it, okay? And the first thing I want to teach you is this word. It's a Greek word, and it's the word no. You're like, what are you talking about? There are times when someone comes up to me, okay, and they'll say, Matt, I need some help Saturday. Will you help me? And I know that Saturday is the time that I've blocked off just to be with me and my family. It is what I would consider sacred because as head of household, okay, as a husband to a wife and a father to children, okay, my first responsibility is to God and my second responsibility is to my wife. My third responsibility is to my children in that order, okay? And God has already allowed that time to be established where we spend time together as a family with Him and with each other, okay? If I was to say yes to someone, okay? And I'm not saying what he's asking me, this person over here, it's not important, okay? But that person who's asking me to help him move, to work on his car, to do this or to do that, okay? Those things are important to him, but maybe there's someone else out there, okay, who's single, who doesn't have the responsibility that I have as head of household, okay? Maybe he could do that. Or maybe he could reach into his wallet and take his car to a garage. Or maybe he could just come up to Matt in the man cave and say, Matt, if you can't help me, could you loan me some money to get my car fixed? You know what I'm saying? Well, here's the thing. The last person you would ever want to come to fix your car is Matt. Look, I'm just putting that out there. This is just an illustration. Matt does not work on cars. But there's many different ways to accomplish something. But what you and I need to learn is don't feel guilty about saying the word no. Say the word no. And just be nice. Say, hey, I'd love to help you. I'm just not able. I have a prior obligation. You don't have to go into what it is, okay? Because sometimes I think we feel guilty about your prior obligation is going with your family and going to have lunch and going shopping and doing this and buying pies. It's the most important thing. Look at, to my children, they loved having dad and mom with them. To my wife, she loves having her husband, okay? To the waitress, okay, that we're encouraging and lifting up. Do you see how it is? Okay, I think we feel guilty, okay? And one of Satan's, okay, tactics is to get you, okay, majoring on the minors and not majoring on the majors, okay? Because in life, there's major things that we have to accomplish and minor things that we have to accomplish. Could the window that needs to be fixed and cleaned wait till Monday or wait till some other time? Yeah, it could. What about that chore I have of cleaning something? Can I just ask you this? Is your family more valuable than you cleaning a barbecue grill or you mowing the grass? Can the grass grow just another couple days? I mean, honestly, but Satan would like us because we're men and we compartmentalize. We just want everything wiped off the calendar. It's all done and then I can relax. You need to learn to relax when you have a slew of things to do, okay? Okay, and realizing that I'm doing the most important thing. Tell people the word no. I'm not able to help you. And if you can give them advice how they can get help, okay, or you can aid in how they can get help, excluding yourself from that so you can do what's most important in your life, you're going to be the better off for it. Now, the first thing is telling people no, okay? Tell them, I have to check with my schedule. I have to check with my wife. I have a prior obligation, okay? There's nothing wrong with you, okay, valuing your family and valuing the things that God values the most in your life. Guys, the second thing I want to put before you is this. There are always, listen to me, always, for the rest of your life, going to be things that need to be done. There's always a to-do list. I don't know if you know this, but from the moment you were born, okay, there was a to-do list for you. And you're like, I don't believe that. You want to eat? That's on the to-do list. You're going to crap? That's on the to-do list, okay? You're going to cry? That's on the to-do list. You need love. You want a blanket. You want a bath. You want it warm. You want the bubbles. You want your rubber ducky. See, even as a baby, there's things that you had to have, you wanted, okay? And you can't even verbalize those things, but as men, there's always going to be things that have to be dealt with, okay? And yes, there are going to be, are going to be emergencies where you have to, okay, adjust, not break your word, but adjust, okay, the plan that you had for any given day. I understand that things do come up. What if the car wouldn't start? We're going to have to change our plans. Or what if I got a flat tire? I can't go all the way, okay, an hour away with a flat tire. So yes, we have to do this, but those, look at, those are the things that come once in a while. All the time people are trying to pull from us, and Satan is trying to get you focused on all these other things that really don't have any spiritual value where your family does. Hey guys, if we were to go to the book of Proverbs and we were to go to chapter 16 verse 9, listen to God's inspired word. It says this: the heart of a man plans his way, but the Lord establishes his steps. We always want to stay in line with what God has set before us, okay? We do. We absolutely do. But sometimes you got to realize that God knows the beginning from the ending, and He understands that here's the thing, you need to do this with your family, okay? That's the most important thing. And so He gives us, watch, the desire to want to do things. God oftentimes leads us by desire, okay? And I'm not talking about unhealthy desires. I'm not talking about lust. I'm talking about you really want to do this thing, okay? And that's how sometimes God moves you in a direction. All of a sudden, you just decide, man, I really want to take the family out to eat, or I want to go to the movies, or I want to go to the park, or I want to go hiking, I want to go skating, I want to go camping, you know what I'm saying? It's family time, which is the most important, and you only have so many years to do this as your children are young, because eventually, what do? They grow up, they get married, and then you're longing for the time which you spent fixing a car or mowing the grass, which you could have spent time with your family, okay? There's nothing more precious on this earth other than Jesus Christ, than your family and your wife and your children. Nothing, okay? It is not work. I've never gone to a funeral, okay, and talked to a person on the deathbed where the person says, you know, Matt, what I wish I would have done, spent more time in the office working, making more money. It never's that. Every single time when people are having these regrets on their deathbed, you know what they tell me? They say, I just wish I would have spent more time with my wife, with my family, with those that I loved, okay? And look, I spent my life doing all these things. Yes, they had to be done, but there was a better time to do them. See, guys, I don't know if you know this. We have very limited time here on earth. The Bible in James says, you don't know what tomorrow holds. If we were to go to Psalm 39, listen to this. This is kind of sobering, and I don't mean to crap you out right before you go take a nap, a long nap, or go to bed for the night. It says, "O Lord, make me to know my end, and what is the measure of my days. Let me know how fleeting I am, because you have made my days a few handbreadths, and my life is as nothing before you. Surely all mankind stands as a measure of breath before you." Selah. That word Selah, okay, means this. Think about it. You don't know what tomorrow holds. You don't know if tomorrow you're going to be in a car accident. You don't know if you're going to have a heart attack. You don't know how many days God has given you on this earth. If we went to the book of Job, God determined through Job's words that there is a certain amount of days, okay, that we are given that we don't know about. But he knows about them, okay? Are you using those days correctly? Because I guarantee if you were to die this very day, 5 seconds after you had died, you will have known the decisions, the choices, and the way that you should have lived, and how much time you wasted doing nothings. That's what I call them, nothings. They can always get done, and there's always a little bit of time here and here and here. And yes, you have to use time management, and you have to squeeze all those other things in, but don't squeeze your family, your friends, okay, the things that mean most. Don't ever exclude God, okay? He should be the first person you're consulting in the morning with prayer and worship and the reading of his word and devotions. Put him first, okay? All these other things are added unto you. And guys, listen, when I was in seminary, okay, there was this very, very, very prominent, okay, minister, speaker, okay, evangelist, preacher, that came to this little school that I was at. I was like, you got to be kidding. And guess what? He didn't stay in the Hilton. They said, we'll put you up in the Sheraton, the Hilton, okay, and the 5-star, the 4 Seasons. And he goes, no, I'll stay in the dorms with the guys. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, right across the hall. You know, and I knock. I said, hey, if you need anything, if you need towels, donuts, drinks, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, I looked into the room, and it looked just like my room, but his Bible was cracked open. He had a water there, and I got to sit down and talk with this guy, and I was talking to him about his schedule, because after he left our school, he's flying here, and he's flying here, and he's flying to Africa, and then he's flying to New Zealand, he's flying all over the place, you know what I'm saying? And I just like, oh my goodness. And he says, Matt, depending on how demanding the day is going to be the next day, is how early I get up and spend time with the Lord. And I go, what? And this, I mean, it took me years to understand this. I go, meaning you didn't try to sleep in? Because I often thought, man, I need a lot of sleep since I know this day is going to be just a train wreck ahead of time. When we know the train's going to crash and the meteor's coming and Yellowstone's going to blow up and we're already in trouble before we even walk into the office to clock in, you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking, I want to get every bit of sleep I can, you know what I'm saying? I want to be bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and I want to have 2 coffees in my hand. Oh, no. This guy would short himself on sleep and would spend time in prayer and in the Word, because he said then God would energize him. He would lead him. He would guide him. He would safeguard him, okay? And he says it's worked every day of his life. And I couldn't believe it, meaning this, he never shorted God on being God in his life. And yes, these other things, he did put those. They were very important to him, okay? Like his family and his friends and all these different things, okay? But guys, there is a way that you and I have to live, okay? And when we live according to God's standards and what matters most to God, it is God who established the family. It is God who sent Jesus. It is God who gives us the Holy Spirit, okay? And we can rest in him daily, and we can walk in love and in faith, okay? Being ambassadors of what? Grace and mercy and forgiveness and long-suffering and patience, okay? And we can have empathy for different people, and we can live above the rest of everyone and pray for those that we just can't click with, okay? And stand in the gap for those who are weak, okay? And it all works out according to God's plan, because it's his plan, it's his will, and it's decreed, okay? It can't return void. Whatever goes out is going to come back the right way. Guys, I want to encourage you, okay? Just make some better decisions, okay? With your time, okay? With your family's time, okay? Put that which is most valuable up on a shelf, okay, and cherish it. Literally cherish it. Say no to people. Reorganize your schedule so they're number one and God's number one, and you will not believe, okay, as you line up with God's will for your life in time management, how God adds into your life and He blesses your life. You have to realize what I'm talking about is God's plan, okay? The other way, it's not God's plan, but when you're putting the things that matter the most, okay, up front, okay, and you're safeguarding those and you're doing everything you know to do, okay, and asking God's blessings and His favor, watch what takes place in your life. You just won't believe it. Well, guys, this is Late Night in the Man Cave After Dark, and I just want to say, have a good night's sleep. I'll see you tomorrow.